Yes, and of course we know that we're currently in level 2, stage 2 of load shedding at the moment across the countries. But let's focus now on the electricity infrastructure in KwaZulu-Natal. Large parts of eThekwini in particular have been battling with electricity post the floods. We do know that for now Eskom has given them a bit of a reprieve in terms of load shedding, but we know that there are fears that damaged infrastructure could spell prolonged outages. Let's speak now to Siphamandla Goge, who's our senior reporter. Sipa, good evening to you. I know that you were listening to what the Premier had to say, and he's already mentioned the massive bill to fix things. We know about the water problem in Tongaat. We know that there are many thousands of houses that need to be rebuilt. But there's also a big impact on the electricity infrastructure. Just tell us a little bit more about this.
Indeed, all of those things that need rebuilding, they require electricity to do that. For you to fix the water treatment plant, you need electricity. For you to fix a bridge or a road, you need electricity. And currently, that is one of the challenges in KwaZulu-Natal. Yes, there has been some progress that has been made in terms of fixing the electricity infrastructure throughout the province, particularly in eThekwini, which is the economic hub of the province of KwaZulu-Natal. But there are certain areas that are still not connected or reconnected, rather they are still without electricity, even though water has been restored. But those two basic services, they go hand in hand. You need water, but you need electricity to fix all the infrastructure that has been damaged. And it doesn't help that the electricity infrastructure suffered a lot, whether you are talking about cables, you are talking about poles. Also, you know, what has made matters worse is that you are dealing with load shedding, but you are also dealing with cable theft. So Eskom has got its own challenges, and those have been compounded by the fact that you recently had floods, and it has made the situation very worse, particularly in eThekwini and surroundings. But the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, Sihle Zikalala, is adamant that indeed Eskom, together with municipalities and provincial authorities, are working hard to fix the electricity infrastructure. However, he does concede that the current challenges that are faced by Eskom, particularly load shedding and unstable electricity supply, they impact negatively on the province's economy, particularly as the province is trying to rebuild from COVID-19, the 2021 July unrest, and the recent floods. Let's take a listen.
Industry continues to complain, and it is something serious. We as government have industrial parks, and we have special economic zones. In those areas where they don't have companies that have their own intervention mechanisms, we are struggling. And a number of companies would say, if we are unable to work for an hour, we lose millions. And therefore, it undermines economic growth in a serious way in all sectors of the economy. But more so because KwaZulu-Natal, we are positioning ourselves as a hub for manufacturing. And for manufacturing, you need uninterrupted provision of energy as well as water. And therefore, load shedding is hampering the potential of growing the economy.
Yeah, I mean, there are just so many problems, Sipa. We know that around Tongaat, the water infrastructure is going to take months. The rail infrastructure is going to take months. But how long is it going to take to fix what has happened around Eskom, specifically due to the floods? I mean, there are reports of cables that have been completely waterlogged, that sort of thing.
Well, nobody knows at this stage, simply because if you were to be fair, look at it this way. For you to get to a certain area to fix that electricity infrastructure, you need a bridge that will connect you to that area. You need a road that is properly functioning. And all that infrastructure has been damaged in most parts of the province of KwaZulu-Natal, particularly in eThekwini, which was the hardest hit. So nobody knows when all of that infrastructure will be fixed. But of course, Eskom, together with municipalities and provincial authorities, say they are working hard to ensure that is fixed, because without electricity and without this electricity infrastructure, you will not be able to fix issues of water, issues of roads, bridges, and also it has had an impact in terms of consumers, whether for domestic use and big businesses. Big industries are in eThekwini. This is the province's economic hub, the only metro. Everything happens around eThekwini. So you need electricity to be properly functioning for you to be able to grow the economy of the province. Remember, you are still in the rebuilding phase of this economy that has been battered by COVID-19, the July unrest, and now the floods. So Eskom, together with the eThekwini municipality and the provincial authorities, say they are working hard to fix this infrastructure, but it's difficult to give time frames because there are other elements and factors that are hampering these efforts of fixing or rebuilding this damaged infrastructure. The Deputy Mayor of eThekwini, that is Mr. Philani Mavundla, explains.
I will say in terms of electricity, all areas are connected. However, we are still having more problems in terms of downtime and so on than what we normally have. And we understand this because most of our cables are full of water and all that. Some of them are running on the surface, and we're having people stealing that as well. So basically, it's not at a level where we can say we are 100% happy, but it's been relatively installed. We haven't had load shedding at eThekwini since we had the floods. We were exempted. We hope that we stay that way for the next 5 months.
Yeah, certainly a lot of challenges ahead on many fronts in the eThekwini area. Thank you very much for that update. That, of course, is our senior reporter, Siphamandla Goge.